Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. So it's Christmas morning. How's everybody's Christmas going so far? Well, let me start by saying I worked out. I woke up, had a cup of coffee, went to Hotworks, did a couple hit sessions, two um, um, on the rowing machine, and sweated quite a bit. Then I went over to Starbucks and got my free birthday coffee because, yes, today is my birthday. So I wanted to take advantage of that. I felt really bad because these people are working on Christmas. I know how it is because I work in healthcare and I've worked in a hospital up until like the last 10 years, and I've always had to work on Christmas and I hated it. And I'm like, what kind of places are open on Christmas and why? I mean, maybe a couple little convenience store, maybe a 24-hour pharmacy, but really, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that should be it because Christmas is a day that you should celebrate, whether you're no matter what your religion is, you should celebrate just a day off that time of year. I know everybody has their own holidays and does things differently, and I totally get that. Uh, I plan on when I'm done with this, just chilling out, maybe having myself a half a hero bagel. Not sure if I'm even going to bother with lunch or just do an early dinner because I have to work tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's not going to be a long night for me. One thing that I realized is that yesterday I had not watched one single Christmas movie. So I put an end to that and I watched two of them. Don't ask me the names. I think one was called The Christmas Baby, about two women that literally find a baby right before Christmas, and they are their temporary parents, and then find out that they're going to actually be the parents. So I watched that, and it was all right. Rom-coms are some of my favorite movies. That's one thing I do like about Christmas movies is, mainly all rom-coms. Don't ask me the name of the other one. I think it was on Amazon Prime, about some prince that was waiting to be king, and they hired somebody to give him dance lessons because on Christmas Eve, one of these years, he's supposed to do this special dance, and that person, it's basically asking that person to be his wife. And um, this person happened to be in that country because she found a picture of her mother before she died, and her mother died as a child, and it was in that country. And again, rom-com, one of my favorite. Hey, Joker 180, Merry Christmas, and happy birthday to me. Thanks for joining me. I know on my GLP-1 medication, I'm going to give myself some grace today. Yes, I'm having my Starbucks coffee, and yes, it is probably about 180 to 200 calories. Where normally I make it myself at home, and I have a sugar-free brown sugar syrup, so it's less calories. But I figured, hey, I kind of get my free one. Why not? I like it. Um, for some reason, their espresso seems to be a lot more potent than mine. So let's see, Angel Lopez. Hi, how you doing? Uh, don't forget to drink my water, says N. Graylin. I will not. When I worked out in a sauna, I had 2 bottles of water then. Merry Christmas, Angela Lopez. Um, and just having my Starbucks. I did have a cup of coffee tomorrow. I did have a cup of coffee this morning. Yes, I could talk, even though it's Christmas. And this will probably do it for my coffee. I might have an iced tea later, but I have iced tea almost every day. Um, so I just realized, excuse me, tomorrow is going to be my 2 years on a GLP-1 medication, which means that it is 104 shots, and that's quite an accomplishment. It's a year and a couple of weeks since I've been on maintenance, and I've pretty well stayed at my weight in that 5-pound range. I just did a video and I talked about this on my last live. For some reason, my goal weight was 118, and I fluctuate, depending on what I eat and depending on when I weigh myself. Well, I'm like at the very edge of that, and a lot of that is because of all these Christmas celebrations. And, I can't help that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't help that, but I just am giving myself some grace because, like I said, 2 years of doing this, you have to um, give yourself some grace and do things a little bit differently at times. So I cannot get back down to that 118. I have tried just drinking protein drinks, basically having very little solid foods. I don't know if my whole metabolism is changing. I don't think I've gained much muscle as far as that, although, yes, I have been working out, but nothing more than what I usually do. I haven't been doing too much differently, but yes, I like yesterday, I did have a half a donut because somebody brought donuts into work on Christmas Eve, and somebody brought it to me, and I didn't want to waste it. It was my favorite donut. Could have said no, but I didn't. Hey, Liza, just watched your interview again. You did a really good job on it. Just put up a couple of shorts or a short to try to push it out a little bit more. Hopefully you're getting more views, a couple subscribers. When you're done watching this, go over to Wellness with Liza, go over to her channel. Please like, subscribe, watch her videos. She does a great job. I really like helping people, especially to get them monetized. I think that that's really important. And Liza is a great content creator, and I really enjoyed the interview. Um, let's get her monetized. I don't want anybody to have any misconceptions. Monetization on YouTube isn't much, but it's kind of like a goal, kind of like in our GLP-1 journey, a non-scale victory, so to speak, to get monetized. Because I don't think anybody's going to get rich doing this. There are a few exceptions, but it's average. You'll be lucky if you can make $100 a month. That's if you're lucky and you really push it. Sometimes some sponsorships could get you some more money, but that's totally up to everybody. I do have a couple of sponsors. Mochi Health, I really like Mochi Health. MP3 CDD is my code if anybody wants a $40 discount off of their first time. If you're new to Mochi Health, just go to join Mochi, answer a couple questions. I like them. They're one of the lower priced ones. What I really like about them, one, is that they really know what they're doing. Two, no shame with them. They don't try to say, oh, you should just be, eating a little less, working a little more. And they do not change their price dose after dose after dose. It is the same price. They have a $79 membership fee, which includes unlimited visits with your healthcare provider, and they're very knowledgeable on the medication, on microdosing, split dosing, anything to help you with your goals. And again, they don't shame you. MP3CDD is my code for $40 off. So we'll put that aside because this really wasn't meant to be a Mochi type of live. But I just want to know, how's everybody spending their Christmas? Yes, I'm having my Starbucks coffee. Frankly, Michelle, Merry Christmas. How you doing? I guess I could pop some of these up here. Thank you for joining the live. And thank you, Liza. So I'm going to have my coffee. Like I said, I might have a half of a hero bagel. The only reason I'm going to have a half is because I think each bagel has like 20 grams of fiber. I don't need quite that much fiber because I also use Shameless half a bag, and that has another 13 grams of fiber, and that's how I make sure that I get enough of my fiber. Again, I'm gonna play lunch by ear. I've got some, chicken salad. I've got, some leftovers. Um, haven't decided if I'll, do that, do a sandwich. I have all soup, all sorts of possibilities. Again, just trying to keep it easy. Now for dinner, I'm gonna make some lamb chops, mashed potatoes. I have a couple fresh vegetables, so I haven't decided. And I have lots and lots of fruit, fresh fruit, because I'm lucky enough to have a farmer's market not that far from me. They're not open today. Merry Christmas, Joseph Gonzalez, to you also. Um, Thank you for the kind wishes. Um, so I'm pretty much staying on track. Now, I will say that one of my coworkers makes this fabulous, fabulous banana pudding, and she made some for me, brought it to work that I have in the refrigerator. But literally, I think it's like a half a cup serving. Yes, it has a lot of sugar. I'm probably going to have some of that for dessert, and as opposed, I would rather have that than cake, because I could have gone to the store and had just a slice of cake, but I kind of like this, and she made it for me. Let's see. Frankly, Michelle had chicken thighs and cottage cheese with fruit for breakfast. Gonna splurge with ribeyes for dinner. I thought about steak for tonight, but I traditionally try to have steak on New Year's Day. And I used to actually have prime rib, but when that's too much food, and again, I'm working on New Year's Eve, but only for like 4 hours, only because they offered me triple time and travel time and a whole bunch of things to get me to do that. And I'm going to go to the butcher shop and get prime filet mignons because those are the least fatty. I know they're good. I know that I like them. Have them cut me some, smaller pieces. I don't need a full 8 ounces. If I could get them to do like 6 ounces and maybe split either a baked potato or a sweet potato with my wife, a vegetable. Again, New Year's to me isn't so much of a dessert type of thing. The only reason I'm really doing dessert tonight is 'cause it's my birthday, and in lieu of birthday cake, I'm going to have uh, my pudding. Uh, it was tough not eating all 7 fishes last night, but I survived. LOL. Yep, we could do that. We could survive this. And like I said, it's the holidays. It only happens, if you're going to eat something, moderation is the key. Um, my mashed potato thing that I'm going to make is very small. There's not going to be any leftovers. It's not a big deal. Uh, I'll probably use like 2 small potatoes to make it. And like I said, I'm giving myself some grace. It is the holiday. I've never had steak, probably the second time in the year that I've been on Zepbound. Tomorrow is my 1 year anniversary on Zepbound. Your Zepiversary! Yay! Way to go, Michelle. That's great. Again, it's my 2 year. I've been on maintenance for a year. I'm going to do probably a video. I'm not going to edit it, just do a video because, something I realized that I have spent, I don't know, $14,000 on this medication. I think it's worth it. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know what you're paying, but, I definitely think it's working. Uh, Joseph is saying congratulations. Michelle, yes, congratulations. That is a great feat. Who's on maintenance? I'm on maintenance again. Can't get back to that 118. I don't know. I was considering possibly doing a 2 week period of absolutely no scales and really making sure that I watch what I eat, which will be a lot easier to do after the first because I know nobody's going to be bringing in food. Our vendors aren't going to be bringing in food and stuff like they are this month. It was a little bit hard to resist, and I wasn't quite as good. Plus, I went on vacation and did have some ice cream, probably a little bit too close together. I don't know if that's the reason why I can't get back down to that 118, but uh, if I don't, I don't. I'm okay with that, but I just don't understand why I can't get back down to that 118. I've gotten to, I guess my scale goes in point two, 118.8, but it kind of like flickered. So it was really more like 119. I'm usually hanging more about that 120. Um, Michelle goes, thanks. I get it through my insurance. I am down 120 pounds, close enough to goal, but more focus on reducing fat. Yes, I am focusing on reducing fat myself, and I actually have a cavitation machine that I'm trying, and I think it's actually helped. I'm going to be doing a video within the next 10 days on that because they sent it to me to try out to see what I think. Um, Quick opinion, I think it's helping. Is it the same as getting a tummy tuck or skin tightening like a facelift? Nah, anybody who thinks that is just kidding themselves. Does it help a little? Yes. That's the gist of it. So, good morning, Lori and Chad. Hey there, Tammy. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I decided to do this because, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I'm celebrating my Starbucks free birthday drink. I just discovered last year that they were open on Christmas. So, let's see. What is a cavitation machine? Okay, a cavitation machine, it looks like an ultrasound machine if any of you are familiar with that, but it has different pieces that you could add to it, and it's got a combination of red light and radio frequency waves and stuff, and it's supposed to help tighten skin and break down fat, and it's supposed to help produce collagen. And they make different ones for your face for some of the lines here and the lines here. I was trying to get it on my neck. I seem to have lost a lot of my weight, and I know nothing's going to do anything like if I actually had plastic surgery. Uh, you know, but I think it's helped. And they have another bigger piece that you do for your stomach and for the areas here, and it's supposed to help. If you're supposed to use it like 3 times a week, and you start to notice it 3 to 4 weeks in, and if you use it consistently, they say that it helps. Now, granted, if I was 30 years younger, it probably would have helped more. But I'm close to 70, and it's not going to work the same as in my 30s. Yes, it's my birthday today. Born on Christmas. Thank you, Michelle, for pointing that out. And I've been using it. My wife is still sleeping. When she wakes up, I'm going to use it. That's the only reason why I haven't jumped in the shower yet. You actually use it with ultrasound gel, and the red light itself that's on it is also good for the skin and also good for creating collagen to help with the skin tightening. So, Shadow 8000, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Just like I said, just a quick little shout out for Christmas and my birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You don't really want me to sing because, I'll lose more viewers, but thank you. Thank you. 69 today. And that's pretty much what's happening in the chat. So, what's everybody having for their Christmas dinner? Thank you, Liza. Thank you, Joseph. I tend to not do a lot of stuff on Christmas because I tend to work it. When I was working at the hospital, since I didn't have kids, I would volunteer to do that because that's just kind of person that I am. Liza's having gumbo. Yum, that sounds great. Um, so I kind of had a low key, when I was a kid, I lived in Chicago. We used to come down to Florida for Christmas. It was also my grandparents' anniversary on Christmas Eve. And we had a big party like a week or two before at a big hotel, a formal party. And it was for their anniversary. And then at the end, a little cake for me too. And then we were all here. So, like, I kind of, used to just do that. We used to just basically go out to dinner and chill. And I kind of like that. Now, I don't really go out to dinner. Um, Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Uh, this is from Tammy. Happy birthday. 11-year-old lab. Well, happy birthday to your 11-year-old lab. That seems to be about it with the comments. So now I forgot what I was saying. See, and I'm taking NAD plus, which is supposed to help with that, but yeah. Christmas Eve. We did 7 fishes, and today we are doing Spanish-style roasted pork with rice and beans. Sounds yummy. Ham and roasted veggies. Making my dog birthday cake. Yeah, that sounds good. I used to make, when I had a dog, I used to make him biscuits. He never used to eat the biscuits that I bought in the stores and the things, but he ate the ones that I baked him. And they're kind of a pain in the butt to make, but, hey, it was my dog. I loved my dog. Made him, and, I was making him so I knew all the ingredients, and I tried one. Very bland. Blah. Okay. Tammy, I'm in the Chicagoland area. Wish I was in Florida. Yeah, it's really nice out today. Let me see what the temperature is. I was just outside, and it is 81. It's going to be 81 today. It's a little cooler now because it's early here. It's not even 10 o'clock. It was a little cool when I went out to work out, and I do my workout in a sauna. So you live near Tampa. I've never been to Tampa. I've always wanted to go to Tampa, um, and I never made it. Hopefully, I will one of these times. I'm trying to think of the name of the town that I was at. There was a dart tournament, but it was a good 20 minutes from Tampa, and that's as far as I made it. I had a friend that lived in Zephyr Hills, so we had to kind of drive through Tampa to get there, but never was really there. NAD, that's what I was talking about. I have not had any side effects from the NAD, but I do know you have to inject it very, very slowly or it hurts. But if you inject it slow, no problem. I know some people have said that they've gotten headaches. I have found, I think, since I started taking this 3.5, 4 months ago, I've only taken like 2 naps. And that's basically because I didn't sleep good the night before for whatever reason, having nothing to do with the NAD or the GLP-1. Uh, but, I used to get so tired because I do work a lot of hours and so forth. But, you know, I have the energy more now, and, I think it's great. Do I still walk into a room and forget what I was gonna go to that room for? Yeah, but the difference is now that I'm taking that NAD plus, it's like, "Oh, what did I walk in here for? Oh yeah, now I remember." So, I think it's helping with some of the sharpness and stuff. People have told me that they've noticed a little bit difference, at my work, that I'm, concentrating a little bit better, don't get sidetracked. Um, Get the comments here. You live in Wesley Chapel, which is connected to Zephyr Hills. Like I said, I've been to Zephyr Hills. I have a friend that I think she's currently selling her place, moving back to Massachusetts, where she's from. But she is actually an ex of mine, and we visited her there. It was a nice little town. Again, I'd rather go to Tampa if I was driving, that far, but never been there, so that might be part of the reason why I wanted to go to Tampa. So, that's my NAD story. Like I said, I take it 3 times a week. I've increased the dose per my provider. And again, Mochi knows a lot about this. Now, if you're thinking about getting it through Mochi, I'll put a link when this is published that you could get it through so that it at least counts to me. You don't get any discounts or anything, but uh, at least I'll get credit. If you don't want to use it, that's fine. I get that. But the thing with Mochi, you do not have to be a member. You do not have to have the $79 or pay the $79 membership for that. All you do is you fill out some questions, and within a minute or two after you're done with the question, they actually put you into a live chat with one of their providers. And then you talk to them about it, and they usually okay it. A couple days later, uh, you'll be on it. People are asking me what my dose is and so forth. I think it's the strength is 1,000 for the lowest dose, and then I think it's 2,000 now. I know I'm up to 20 units, which doesn't really tell you the dose 3 times a week. I know if I'm working every day that week, and I work 15-hour days, and I've discussed this with them, I'll take that 60 units and I'll divide it over 5 days as opposed to 20, 20 units, 20 units, 20 units, and they okayed that. But I think it comes out to, like I said, the lowest dose is 1,000, the highest dose is 2,000, and um, both times or both vials that I've got have actually lasted over a month. So, that's my dosage. That's how I take it. I tend to be more of a stomach. I've done it in my arm and I've done it in my leg. And like I said, the only thing I notice, if you do it like your GLP-1 medication, it's going to sting like hell. So you do it real slowly and it doesn't hurt. Now, I tried to get my wife on this because I thought it was working so good. And, it's like I injected her the first time or two. And then I guess she injected herself and did it fast and it hurt. And like she did it one more time fast and it hurt. She's like, I'm done. So just do it super slow. And, you know, okay, here you're saying that it was 50. I could be wrong on my thing. I could grab my bottle if you want, and we could see. Give me a moment and let me do that. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Let's see. 50 units. You're right. I'm sorry. Inject 50 units subcutaneous once a week. That was from my old one. That was 100. Let's see what the new one is. Okay, this is 200 milligrams or 10 ml injection. Inject 0.25 ml on the syringe once a week. I can increase to sub-Q 3 times a week as directed. This isn't very clear. Okay, 50. I could increase to 50 units 3 times a week. And this is the 200 milligram. So those are the strengths. So they have where I could do it once a week, and then they have directions for 3 times a week. So the choice is mine. And again, I'm almost done with that bottle, which is why I have 2. And like I said, sometimes I'll just take that amount and divide it into 5 because I want a little pick me up in the morning. I've only done that once, and I usually don't work 5 days in a row because, like I said, I work 14, 15-hour weeks, 14, 15-hour days, and I don't want to string too much of them. I think we have the same one. I'm wondering why it doesn't sting for me. Maybe it's just me, but even the doctor told me to do it a little bit slower. So do you just push it fast? Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. But good point. Everybody's different. Everybody's, how they feel it is different. Also depending on, it could be where you get it from. Try to see where I got mine from. Drug crafters. Okay. So, that's my story on NAD plus. So I'm going to continue on it. I like it. Again, it's an extra $100 a month bill. So see how that goes. And I don't know, maybe I'll back off of it a little bit if it starts to get too expensive. But I really enjoy it. Considering that Mochi is one of my sponsors, I was going to see if I could use some of my credits towards them because I've got some credits from people signing up, which is why I said I'm going to put the link in the description here. And if anybody's interested in the NAD, I'd appreciate it if they use my link because then I'd get credits and possibly could get mine at a little bit, better price. They can't give it to me free because that's against the law. And that's that. So now we've talked a little bit about Christmas. What's everybody doing for New Year's? What are your plans? I was a little bummed out that my gym was closed. I did go to Hot Works, which has a small gym in it, because that's like not staffed a lot of the time, and a lot of it is video instruction and the sauna. And they have a very small gym there, but I don't really like the stuff that they have. Now last year my gym was open on Christmas till like 2:00. But I don't blame many people that could have the day off. I'm all for that. I believe in holidays are mainly for chill. New Year's, I don't do crap on New Year's. I don't like I don't want to get stuck with some of these drunk drivers on the road. Personally, dinners and stuff like that, I think are absolutely outrageous. What you would pay $30, $40 for or $200, $300. I just won't do it. I just don't believe in it. That's just me. New Year's Eve, stay home with a shaking dog, afraid of fireworks. Yeah, we will walk that day though. Yep. My dog used to be so afraid and so afraid of thunder, and I blame that on my old girlfriend because she was terribly afraid and taught him how to be afraid. But I mean, he just got so bad in it when he got older that I just didn't know what to do. I bought him a thunder jacket, and he was just as afraid of that as he was of the thunder. So I never really got over losing him, which is why I don't have another dog and why I have cats. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my cats, and I'm very sad when they pass away, but it's just a little bit different. You know, they are still family members. I love my fur babies, no matter if they're dog or cat. But I don't know, for me, it's just a little bit different. Uh, I don't know, maybe because my dog, that was my first dog, and that dog got me through some really hard times. So it was a little bit different where, cats love them to death. They have gotten me through some hard times, but never quite that hard of a time. And a little bit different because, they're not quite as needy. Not that I need somebody to be needy, but let's get on a more cheery note because, it is the holiday season. Um, I will go one more sad thing with Christmas. Sometimes it brings back some bad memories for me because my mom passed away on Christmas, and I found her, but that's the end of the bad, sad talk. So, um, let's get back to New Year's Eve. Again, I'm not going to pay those crazy prices. Um, maybe I'll do a movie early in the day. We'll have to see. I'm not afraid to go out to lunch on New Year's Eve. But like I said, I'm going to make, New Year's Day, I'm going to make my filet mignon. New Year's Eve, I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'll make some pork chops or something like that. Uh, Again, just don't want to go out and pay those prices. Uh, let's see. I just sit on the floor with her, and afraid for the dogs. It took me 20 years to get another dog after losing my dog. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. It hasn't quite been 20 years. It's been 11, but you know, I'm good with cats. I love my cats, don't get me wrong. And I do like the fact that, I could go away for the weekend and not necessarily have to get somebody to cat sit because they're a little bit more independent. Just make sure that they have some food, clean litter box, and I could go away on a Friday and come back on a Sunday morning and be okay with that. Same with me, dog passed away, now have cats. He was my first child, so I know what you mean. There are some days that I joke around with people and say, I remember giving birth to this dog. But, that's crazy, obviously. Um, don't want to be on the road with drunk drivers anymore either. Don't blame that one. Um, I don't know, maybe we'll rent a movie. Again, I'm going to be working the day after. I'm actually working on New Year's Day, but like I said, it's just 4 or 5 hours. They may end up canceling because as of right now, I only have 4 patients, and I don't know how many people they're going to get. One of them they have to cancel because we don't have a doctor there, so we can't do contrast. So we'll see if it gets busy enough. We'll see. Let's see. Don't think I'll ever get another dog. He was irreplaceable. Yeah, I'm beginning to feel that way too. And as I get a little bit older, uh, cats aren't mean. In my opinion. Maybe some stray cats, and I don't think it's that they're mean. It's just they're very protective, and they're used to fighting on their own and stuff like that. Uh, Just trying to see what everybody's. I wouldn't do it because GLP-1 seems to be for people who don't need it. Okay, we can get rid of that one. Sorry. There we go. Uh, Yeah. Well, GLP-1 isn't evil, and, there's a lot of evil in the world, so, I have 2 kids, 6 cats, full house here. Yes, you do have a full house, but what a happy house that is. Uh, get rid of this person, sorry. Okay, I just got rid of them, so, um, that sounds like a beautiful family, congratulations. I think that that's absolutely great. Uh, I had 3 cats. Uh, I don't mind 2 cats. I've never had 3 cats, but, the 2 cats were getting to be older, and I didn't wanna get another cat to make it seem like I was replacing that cat. So I wanted to get her while the others were alive. That way it wouldn't feel that way. If I get another cat, now the cat we have, very loving, loves us very much. But she's definitely the type of cat that doesn't want to be around other cats and kind of miserable about that. She's very happy now that she is the only cat. Something happens to her, I think I would get a little bit older cat, like, maybe 4 or 5, because I gotta start thinking, I don't wanna outlive my cats. And, okay, I'm 69, I have another, I probably wouldn't, but, you gotta start thinking about things like that. Uh, 6 cats is awful, too much. No, that's not. Everybody has their own opinion. That's why they're would you live in Chicago for $1,000,000 and use public transportation? I haven't even thought about it, kind of a crazy question, so not gonna answer it. Are you offering me $1,000,000 to do it? Let me see the funds, and then I'll give you my answer. Uh, you also have a hairless cat. I wonder how that is. Never had one of that. Those, be interesting. Uh, so, kinda caught up here on the comments. I actually, you know, I'm looking forward to the holidays being over so that life could be a little bit back to normal. The only bad thing is that the next holiday is until the end of May. That's a long period to go without a day off of work. Yes, I'm going to take some days off of work. I have, I think I have like 60, 70 hours transferred over from last year, so, I'll that's the time that I'll use some. Don't need so many in the summer. I take my, um, yearly vacation. I usually take, like 5 days in May, and then I take a good 10-day vacation in November, and then I'll take some long weekends or things along those natures, which, basically, I call it a long weekend. I was, just away for 3 days. It really wasn't on the weekend. It was a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because those were my days off, so I didn't really even have to take a day off of work, and I was, happy about that. My wife not so happy because she had to take the time off, but, it's nice to get away once in a while. Um, talking about your hairless cat here. He's kinda like a dog, okay? My all-time high was 5 cats and 4 dogs at the same time. Mom moved in with me after after dad passed away. Sorry about that slip of the tongue there. Um, I hope you had a big place with all those, furry kids and stuff like that. Uh, thank you, what is this, Freddie? Merry Christmas to you also. Hope you are having a great holiday. Hope Santa was good to you. Um, you know, I know that Santa's being good to me, even though my wife's sleeping and we haven't done our gifts yet. So far, everything that I've gotten has been great. Uh, I gave her one of her Christmas gifts last night because it dropped down into the low 70s in Florida, and for her, that's very cold. And I got her some fleece line yoga pants. Ayuga, yes, Ayuga is one of my sponsors, so yes, I get a discount. You all get a discount if you put Lori LORRI 25 in the coupon code. You'll get 25% off. So I got her those, and I gave them to her the day early because she was cold. And when she gets up and has her breakfast, we'll probably do our little Christmas exchange things. Family, kind of, we don't do that so much anymore because it's more for the kids. And we're there for each other all year round. We, buy each other breakfast or dinners all year round, so it's not a big deal. Um, and that's pretty much it for my Christmas. Like I said, I'm almost looking forward to a more normal way of life after the holidays. These short days are killing me. I'm glad that we are now gaining about a minute every day. It'll take till like the end of January, February for it really to start making a noticeable difference. I don't like these short days. I guess I could get used to it a bit. What I really don't like is the time change. I wish we would stay at one time zone all year round. It would make it a little bit easier to get used to. I think I like the other one better. Um, I didn't really like changing the clocks back. I liked them forward, but that's just me. And like I said, I could probably get used to it either way. It's just the changing twice a year that really gets me. Because you're going to have the short days up until the December 21st every year. It doesn't matter whether the time changes in place or not. Is just the change twice a year. I never get used to it. The only thing I find it good for is then I know when to change the batteries on my smoke detectors. So that's it. So I just wanted to get on, say, Merry Christmas to everybody. I want to thank everybody for following me. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Go over to Liza's channel and like and subscribe to her. She's got some really great stuff. If you type in hashtag GLP-1 into the comments, the name with a link of your channel will come up, at least on the vertical. On the horizontal, it won't. And I'll try to get back and go back and tag all these and put them in the descriptions in a day or two. So, Liza, if you're still on here or any of you are content creators, please hashtag GLP-1. It doesn't matter if you put a dash in there or just GLP-1, capital, small. I think I've got them all ready so that it would share your link and maybe help other content creators out, because we all like to help each other all year round, not just on Christmas time, because the community support with these GLP-1s is the biggest surprise to me, how great everybody is and how everybody wants to help each other. So I want to help all of you get more viewers, more subscribers. If you're monetized, more money, whatever I could do to help, I'm more than happy to, because we all help each other. That's the type of community that this is. And I'm very proud that this is the way that it is. So I'm proud to be a member of this GLP-1 community, and if there's anything I could do to help, or I appreciate all of your people helping. Uh, Let me know in the comments when this is posted. Please feel free to put a link to your channel. I've done a comment of top GLP-1 channels in my opinion. I think I'm going to do that again in the next month or so. I'm also going to do one of people that I've interviewed so that people could check out their channels quite freely. If any of you are interested in being interviewed, leave a comment on any of my videos. I will be more than happy to get in touch with you. You do not have to be a content creator. You do not even have to be on a GLP-1. It's all about weight loss and health journeys. I'm going to be doing some interviews in the near future on people from the carnivore, that are on the carnivore diet and that whole community, because they're losing weight, they're feeling healthier. Some people don't agree with it, but it's good to get their opinion and to find out how they think and what they think. I was very surprised when I talked to some people in the carnivore, when they said that, they've had a vegetable. I thought that they couldn't have any vegetables. I don't know if there's different types of carnivore, but we're going to get educated together, because I'm going to, interview some of these people. And again, if any of you are carnivore, just put comments in here, because I'd like to learn a little bit more about it. Some people say that they're hybrid carnivore, and I'm not exactly sure what that means. Where I think it's like, my opinion, don't quote me on this, is that they're like 80% carnivore, and they do have some of their special stuff that they have. I know that a lot of people say that they get such clarity when they're on carnivore. I know when I stick really good to what I should be eating on the GLP-1 medication, my head is clear. I've always pointed a lot of that out to, not having the food noise, whether it's that, whether it's just the higher protein, could be part of it. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to do some more interviews. Michelle, if you're interested, let me know. Any of you, just put a comment on any of my videos, plus my contact information is on my channel page. It has my email. Also, another email is glp1journeyinreview@yahoo.com. Just let me know. Very relaxed. And if for some reason, if you're not satisfied with the interview, I won't post it. Or if it comes out and you don't like it, I will take it down. I mean, it's, I'm doing this to help people, not to piss them off, not to hurt them. I want people to say, I want a little bit out of this, this person's, and a little bit out of this person, and that's what's going to work for me. So that's how I've learned to do things through my whole career, through my whole life, is a little piece of this person's, a little piece of that person, and that's what makes me me. So that's just the way that I feel. And again, I want to say to everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday you whether you just celebrated it, whether you're celebrating it, whether you're going to be celebrating it. This is the holiday season. Let's give out a little cheer. Let's be a little bit kind to ourselves. Let's be kind to others. I somehow lately people seem like they're like at war, whether it's political, whether it's just whatever. Let's kind of just forgo that for a little while. Let's just be nice to each other for a couple days. Let's just see how that goes and see what that gets us. That would be the greatest Christmas gift to me and birthday gift to me, is just watching people be kind. All that being said, I'm going to wrap this up today. Merry Christmas, happy birthday, enjoying my Starbucks drink, and have a great day, everybody.